wonder what happens after you die? Where do you go? Does heaven and hell exist? Or everything just ends with death? Then I have good news for you. Your consciousness is immortal because it does not occupy space nor time. Let me explain. For the consciousness to exist, it has to feel something. While your physical body is alive, your consciousness feels its feelings, like hunger, thirst, pleasure, pain, etc. Once your body dies, your consciousness can no longer receive feelings from it. So what happens next? When a woman is pregnant, the mother feels her baby's feelings, like when the baby is happy or sad and etc. This means that the consciousness can receive feelings not only from the physical body, but also from another consciousness. Do you know who or what is God? God is the common consciousness. So if our consciousness connects with God, it will receive feelings from that common consciousness and continue to exist even without the physical body. Good news, right? Not so fast. There is one major moment. The common consciousness is a two-way street, meaning that what one consciousness is feeling, all the others feel it too. In this situation, if your consciousness will emotionally hurt the other consciousness that is also connected to God, then all the connected consciousnesses will feel the pain of the hurt one, including yourself, and most importantly God. So if God allows the consciousness, which can hurt others, to connect with Him, then all the consciousnesses connected to God will be in danger. Consequently, God will not allow this to happen. So what happens to the consciousness that is refused to connect with God? There is another common consciousness that lets these consciousnesses connect with Him. Moreover, He wants to connect to Him as many as possible in order to increase the feeling of existence. This common consciousness is what we call the devil or Satan. So, after the physical body is dead and can no longer sustain the consciousness, a consciousness that can hurt others connects with the devil's common consciousness. Now, let's explain in general what happens when your consciousness is connected to the common consciousness of God or the devil. Let's start with God. As the Bible teaches you, God exists in the Holy Spirit and He bestows it. The Holy Spirit is acknowledged or felt by your consciousness as pleasure. So the consciousness connected to the common consciousness of God exists in pleasure for eternity. Now let's talk about the other, the devil's common consciousness. As the Bible teaches you, the devil was thrown out of the heaven. It means that he is restricted from receiving the Holy Spirit. If he can't receive the Holy Spirit, he cannot feel pleasure. But in order to exist, he must feel something. If he can't feel pleasure, the only thing left is to feel pain. So if your consciousness is connected to the common consciousness of the devil, it will exist in pain for eternity. Not a piece of great news. Now one legitimate question rises. When people in this life hurt others physically or emotionally, they receive pleasure from it. How and why does it happen? There is a good explanation for it. While you are still here, on the earth, you are bestowed the Holy Spirit from God. Each of us receives his or her portion of pleasure. When you are hurting somebody physically or emotionally, you are stealing that person's pleasure. That's why you are receiving temporary pleasure. The person from whom you took his pleasure must feel something to exist. So since he or she has no more pleasure left, he or she starts to temporarily feel pain. In the conclusion, you go to heaven when you connect to God's common consciousness, and you go to hell when you connect to the devil's common consciousness. To go to heaven, it is not enough just to do good things. You must be a good person in order to not be able to hurt the other person, meaning his consciousness. Do you want to know more? Subscribe to my channel.